You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Let's go to folks. He's the co-founder for the Center for Policing Equity. He's the co-founder and CEO, Dr. Philip Atiba Goff. And let me know when Goff is actually on, folks. Because what we're also seeing here is that you look at both of these cases, Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, in terms of how police are responding to the public. In the case of Breonna Taylor, lawsuit had to be filed in order for more information to come out. Story then goes national. Pressure being put on. Ahmaud Arbery, New York Times has a story. We cover it. The family is pushing. Finally, the video gets leaked, and you have this response here. What people need to understand, I want to go to Dr. Goff here, is that the real issue here is that the public simply does not have the trust necessary that police are going to properly investigate their own when they are doing wrongdoing.
Well, Roland, that's unfortunately exactly right. In these situations where you have law enforcement, especially when they're caught on camera doing things that, even if they might be within the regulations of the law enforcement guidebook, they're not what anybody would consider to be right. If you haven't built up the public trust, then you can't be trusted by the public to then decide whether or not you've done right, you've done wrong. The public is seeing something that they feel like is outside of their values, and the public doesn't trust you to then share their values. I got to say, it's also really important that we understand this is the seed of where compliance with the law comes from, right? You can't have compliance with the law if you don't have trust in it. It doesn't begin with fear of it. It begins with trust in it.
Well, it is still mind-boggling in that now we have the conflicting stories in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Some cops say, well, we wanted to arrest on the scene, DA wouldn't allow it. Now we're hearing there are text messages between police officers and the owner saying, hey, you got any problems with your house, don't call us, call Gregory McMichael. That explains a whole lot. They saw Gregory McMichael as an extension of the police department, as a law enforcement officer, which for him gave him the right to say, I can pursue who the hell I want to, grab our guns, let's go get him.
Yeah, and you have this complicated history where, the elder McMichael here, because you have a father and son, is retired law enforcement and had spent time in the DA's office, right? So I don't know how you be more law enforcement than you were the folks who were supposed to catch criminals and then the folks supposed to prosecute them. You also have a history with this individual who allegedly was let go from law enforcement, or at least he was not permitted, wasn't permitted to continue making arrests because he couldn't follow the rules for reasonable use of force, right? Still, within a community, if you know your officers, right, in a community that's small enough, officer friendly over there, right, an officer unfriendly over there, someone retires and they're still carrying their badge and their gun and someone's saying, call them if you have a problem, then yeah, you have folks essentially engaged in vigilante justice or vigilante versions of justice. We saw it in Sanford, Florida. And when folks abdicate responsibility for equal justice, it gets out of hand really quick.
So what, from the public standpoint, what does the public do?
Well, if we're talking about in the particular case in Georgia, you can demand that there is a third-party investigation. It seems clear to me that there is grounds to ask. Maybe there's a civil rights violation going on here, and so we want folks to come in. We want DOJ to come in and do this. This is, by the way, what happened in Fort Worth when we had the terribly tragic Tate Jefferson shooting. The interim chief said, there is enough from what I've seen that I'm concerned we shouldn't be the only ones investigating ourselves. We're going to ask the federal government to come in so that we have the legitimacy in the face of the public we're supposed to protect. So residents can demand for that. You can also ask for civilian review of this, because it's not the case that law enforcement should ever be above and separate from the people, right? Robert Peel's principles that set up law enforcement in general, there are 9 principles. Number 7 is the most important one. It says the public are the police and the police are the public. So if you don't have any civilian input on this, then the argument can be made, I don't have trust in law enforcement, I don't have civilian input, I've got an occupying force, I don't have law enforcement and public safety, right? So those are 2 obvious things in this particular case. Beyond that, there's a lot of this stuff we know how to do. We know how to make law enforcement police in ways that garners the public trust, right? We know how to engage in community policing. We know how to engage in trainings that the folks in the community are the leaders of, that help to get at both old-fashioned racism and new fashion. We got the explicit, we got the implicit bias. We know how to give that to law enforcement in a way that allows them to lead on garnering trust as the first most important thing. It's not just through consent decrees, it's through collaborative reform between law enforcement and justice nerds like us, nerds coming out of DOJ, coming out of the FBI, and coming out of the community. And if law enforcement wants to lead, those tools are now available to them to measure not just crime, which is what the FBI and the Uniform Crime Report require, but to start measuring justice and holding themselves accountable to those same values. My hope is that we will see more of that, especially as public safety and public health become more obviously intertwined.
All right, Dr. Philip Atiba Goff. We surely appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. This is the Ceek VR headset created by Mary Spiel, the sister. We had her on the show. Black woman. She actually is the inventor of this particular headset. And so what happens is you just simply place your phone right into here, and then of course close it up, and then go to their website and then their app, and you can actually experience the comedy showcase. And so they have these headsets, these VR headsets on their site, Ceek.com, for sale. Then also they have these 4D 360-degree headphones. First of all, I love the two stuff because they're in black and old gold, my frat colors. But these are awesome because for gamers, it comes with detachable headset, and again, folks, it gives you 360-degree sound. Amazing sound. If you want to buy these, you have a promo code you can use. This is just for our followers, and it is RMVIP2020. RMVIP2020. Put that promo code in. If you want to buy the headphones, buy the VR headset, you get that discount to buy it. They're amazing. So Ceek.com, RMVIP2020. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.